In North Carolina, violent crimes are considered obviously rape, murder, assault with a deadly weapon, things like that. The most common types of violent crimes that we see are a charge for assault on a female or simple assault or assault with a deadly weapon. They're very common. Assault on a female is one of those strange crimes in North Carolina because it technically, in my opinion, is an equal protection violation, because if I'm a man and I hit a woman, I get charged with assault on a female. If I'm a female and I hit another female, I get charged with simple assault. The problem it becomes an equal protection violation is when the assault on the female carries more time, or more possible time in jail than simple assault would. So you're basically punishing me for being a man and hitting a woman. And our Court of Appeals has said that that's okay. And I think that's an issue that's definitely ripe to go back up again, and maybe even ripe to go to the Supreme Court of the United States. In North Carolina, there's two types of murder cases. There's the capital murder case, where you're actually face the possibility of getting executed by the state if you lose. And then there's the non-capital case, which is basically life in prison without parole. And that's, a lot of times that's a bargaining chip that's put on the table. The state can say, okay, well, if you take this plea, we'll take the death penalty off the table. And sometimes they won't do that. Sometimes it's just, this is what our facts are, or we believe our facts are, and this is where we stand, and your client's on trial for their life. And it's so crucial not only to have an attorney that looks for the details that are in the case, the way that how was this body found, what's the forensic evidence, is there DNA? Do you have experts that are available to analyze that DNA? Is there blood spatter? And there's tons of experts or purported people that claim they're experts in blood spatter, but knowing the right expert to turn to, knowing the right person to use, these are all, the devil's always in the details, and it's details that get people acquitted. It's also details that get people convicted. So without the right lawyer that's going to comb through each and every detail that the state wants to put up, that's what's the utmost importance in dealing with murder cases. And my firm uses all these things. We have all these experts. We have the knowledge as to who's more properly positioned to be able to testify on the accuracy of this particular type of test, whether it be over something as inconsequential as a tool mark on a door, whether it be DNA sample, whether it's a blood spatter. Any of these things that can be questioned, we have the right experts that we can turn to answer these questions for us, and to explain to the jury why these things are so important. Incarceration is always a possibility for someone that's facing charges of committing a violent crime. However, that's not always the case. A lot of it's going to depend on if that person has a criminal record. If they have a clean record and it's something like assault on a female, a lot of times it's something that even if they're convicted, the judge isn't going to put them in jail. It's something they may get a probation officer. They may have things that they have to do, take an anger management class, for example, but they generally won't face jail. Something more serious, like assault with a deadly weapon, if there was a knife displayed or threatened, in some cases there's jail time with that. But I've had cases where I've had clients charged with things like that got off with a probationary sentence. So it just, a lot of it depends on who the district attorney is, what the facts of the case are, and who your judge is. And I think it's important to know and have good relationships not only with judges in the community, but also with the district attorneys themselves, so you can have a better outcome of your case. I think what helps my firm is the close relationships that we have with the district attorney's office and with a lot of the judges. It's something that you develop friendships, affinities with other people, because let's face it, the legal community is very small. Not only is the legal community small, but before they were judges, a lot of these they were attorneys, and in North Carolina you have to be an attorney to be a judge. So a lot of times the judges that I work with and see every day are people that I used to try cases with or try cases against, or knew in another capacity. One of our judges, for example, used to be a civil lawyer that I occasionally would call for advice on civil cases that would help me. Another of our judges used to be a former prosecutor that I tried cases with for many years before he became a judge. So knowing that judge's preference for certain things, knowing how likely they are to rule in a certain way or how likely they are to sentence in a certain way is definitely more helpful. And I think that's why if you're looking for an attorney to handle your case, you need an attorney that not only has that experience but also has built over time relationships with not only the prosecutor's office and the prosecutors in the office, but with the judges who are going to be hearing the case. For violent crime cases, we offer free consultations, and we also have payment arrangements where we can work with people. Once again, I think that no one intends to get arrested, and you know, innocent people do get arrested. So this is one of these things that we understand. You don't have a piggy bank that you've been waiting to save up to hire a criminal defense lawyer, and we understand that it's also expensive to hire an attorney. And we try to work with people to make that happen. Every violent crime case that comes in the office, I handle personally from the intake, the moment you walk in the door, the first handshake and greeting, until the very last moment of trial, or if it's worked out in another manner.